Hello everyone, and welcome to my second video in the series Everyone Can Be Digitally Literate. Today we're going to look at two different things. The first thing we're going to look at is the guided access. I mentioned that in my previous video. We'll look at how we enable it and what it can be used for. We're also going to have a little look at how we save things for offline viewing. So that'll be if there's an article online that you want to read at one point when you don't have access to the internet, how you can save it so that you can still access it. So what you want to be looking for is settings. It's a grey icon with a gear inside. I'm going to tap that and we are going to have a little look at the accessibility features for guided access. Now if you remember back to last week, we had a little look at that briefly under Control Centre. Now just to reiterate, if you go into Control Centre, you can go into Customise Controls and you can add guided access from there. Also, you can add it further down the screen, so if you look 3 below into accessibility, down on the right hand side at the bottom panel under general, guided access is the first one on it. You want to tap in there and set your passcode. Now one piece of advice I would give at this point is to make your passcode separate, a different passcode to that you would use for logging into the iPads. The reason being, if you're working with the children and you want to set areas of the screen that you don't want them to be able to access, or you want to keep them within an app and not allow them out of the app, if you set the passcode to be the same as the iPad, it defeats the purpose of what you're doing. So I'm just going to go in there, I'm going to set it as 111111 and you just confirm that. I would also mention that I wouldn't use Touch ID. The reason being, when I put Touch ID on it as a way to exit out of guided access, I found it extremely difficult to exit out of it, and I don't have time for that when I'm in class, so it's easier just not being on it. Do it with the passcode. So the next thing we want to do is enable guided access. So to do that, I'm just going to go into a web page and we can have a look at it from there. I'll show you how to access it from the custom controls and also how to access it from the triple click home button. So we're going to go into Safari and see how we can use guided access. So this is just one example of how you might want to use guided access. I've also used it with primary ones to limit the edges of the screen because they've got a habit of holding the screen deeper than what the older children would do. It also would work in that sense for anyone who's got difficulty with their motor functions. So I'll show you how to access that area where you can restrict your screen to make parts of it untouchable. So you want to triple click your home button, 1, 2, 3, and that starts guided access. Now on the general guided access, it just means that you can't move out of the web page. So if I click the home button, nothing will happen. If I tap the volume button, there'll be no change to the volume. Tap the sleep button, it won't send the iPad to sleep. So I'm locked within this app, so that's Safari, but I can still change web pages. I can still tap through different things on the left, on the right, anywhere. I can log in or log out, but if I wanted to restrict that so the children only had access to the information that was on that particular page and you want to keep them on that page, stop them from going any further, you can triple click the home button again. It'll ask for the passcode. Pop that in, and what you can do at this point is you can start sectioning off areas of the screen that you don't want the children to be able to tap. So if I want them to stay on this web page, I'm going to start by circling the web page, the back buttons, the share button, the add a tab, the create a new tab. So all that's sectioned off so that now they can't touch it. The other areas I might want to consider doing is along this side of the screen, because at that side of the screen they can tap out of it, and if I want to change areas I can just move it around and I can circle over the top if I miss parts and I'll add it to it. If I click resume, it shows that those areas are greyed out. So if I tap on those areas, nothing's going to happen. I can still tap through the rest of it, I can still click the links to investigate who these people are, but I can't click back. So that's one issue they might want to consider when you're using it. To exit out of guided access, again it's just triple click the home button, pop in your code, and you can see I can either end it at the top left corner, I can resume it, or I can adjust those buttons. So I can pull that back, so I've got the back arrow available if I want. I can resume, and it means that you're then allowing the pupils to go in, have a view at something, and then go back. Alright, so we want to exit out of the guided access. 3 clicks, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and I can end my guided access. So that's if you're using the home button, triple click. I've added it to my control centre so that I've got easier access. So I just pull down diagonally, tap the guided access button, and it all comes to life with my areas blocked out of the screen in exactly the same way as it was with the triple click on the home button. Just 2 different ways that you might access it. The other thing I'd like to show you today is a way to save any web page article that you're reading, or save any web page that you're reading without using the reading list. So we're going to exit out of guided access, and we're going to have a look at how you can save a web page for browsing later on when you have no internet connection. And I think that's quite important within the rollout that Glasgow's having. We can't guarantee that every child has access to the internet, but we don't want them to feel as if they can't be involved in the lessons and homework and the things that we might set. So it allows them to do these things while they're at school and have internet, so that when they go home they can access them. We don't want to be putting up any barriers to their learning. So to exit out of the guided access, we just want to tap 3 times, pop in your code, end guided access, and it's very straightforward on how to save this page for viewing later on. All I need to do is take a screenshot. And to take a screenshot, for anyone who doesn't know, you press your sleep and wake button, so your sleep stroke wake button that's on the top right hand corner of the iPad, and the home button at the same time. When you do that, you'll get a little flash on your screen to let you know that it has been taken. Once you have your screenshot, you can either click done and it'll save it as a screenshot to the photo, but if it's not just the information that you want that's visible on your screen just now, you can tap full page, which is in the middle of the screen. So you've got screen, and then just to the right of that you've got full page, and you can see that it changes the right hand. In the right hand side of the screen you can then view the whole page, the whole document that's on Wikipedia. And that goes for any other website that you're on. Take a screenshot of the top of the page and it gives you the option to save the full page. So that's handy. Once you've done that, it will save it as a PDF. You click done, and you can save PDF to files. Always pop it just into a folder that you're going to be able to find it in. I'm going to save mine into Pages, under my name, save it, and now if I go into Files, then I go into Pages, then my name, the document should be within the folder. There it is there. So tap it to open it. The whole document is there, or the whole web page is there as a document. There we have it, how to use guided access and how to save web pages for offline use. Join me next week when I'll give an introduction to Keynotes. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you then.